I'm Joe, and welcome to the Failure to Thrive module. This is Counting Calories 101. We're going to meet Jamie, our 3-month-old patient, who we are concerned may have failure to thrive. So one of the first steps in working this up is getting the history. I know. This line? Really? Yeah, seriously. At the top of our list, the things we really want to know are how her feed's going, what is she getting, formula or breast milk, and how much is she getting. So you ask mom, and mom reports that Jamie gets 2 ounces of regular formula every 3 hours. So you say to yourself, okay, is that good? Then you think to yourself, what else do I need to calculate? Is this enough? And what else do I need to know? But before we get into that, at this point, let's zoom out. Here are some things often overlooked that I did not know when I was in your shoes. Okay, let's talk about the basics. So regular formula, or maternal breast milk, abbreviated MBM, for every ounce, there's 30 milliliters, 30 cc's, which are the same, and all of that is 20 kcals per ounce. That's kind of a standard. That's something you can just lock away, and it'll serve you well for your rotation. As an aside, you can concentrate with various methods to bring up the kcals to about 30 or 31 kcals per ounce. So look up the formula and the combination if you are unsure. And then also remember that the nutritionists are very friendly and can be really helpful with all of this. I mean, they're just awesome. Babies who breastfeed or take the bottle in one sitting take what we call in the hospital bolus feeds, or their feeds in one sitting. If we need a baby to feed through an NG tube or a G tube, we often start continuous feeds on a pump. We then work to consolidate the amount so that the feeds are shorter and eventually simulate a normal meal or a bolus feed. So knowing volume and being able to calculate rate is a very important skill. Other things you may need to calculate include kcals per kilograms per day or mils per hour, so that you can help figure out how to consolidate feeds back to bolus feeds. At the end of this video and module, you should be able to do all of that. The answer will depend on what your attending wants as far as the continuous feed rate or bolus feeds, frequency, or anything else like that. How many calories do babies need? Per the wonderful people at UpToDate. So here are the goal rates. You can look them up online, but you may notice that they start around 120 kcals per kilogram per day and work down to about 80 kilocals per kilogram per day. And then it slowly goes down as you age, but that's really not important to us. We're really focused on babies. So here are the target growth rates. So this is how much weight is a baby gaining per day. One to commit to memory is that a baby less than 3 months old should be growing 30 grams a day or about 1 ounce a day. They slow down between 3 to 6 months and then slow down beyond that. This can be very helpful for you to see if your patient is getting enough nutrition. Okay, so back to Jamie. Jamie is our 3-month-old female who we are concerned has failure to thrive. Her mom reported to us that she receives 2 ounces of regular formula every 3 hours. We abbreviate every 3 hours Q3H, and this follows for Q2, Q3, Q4, Q6, etc. So Q3H, or Q3 hours. From this information, we want you to be able to calculate kcals per kilogram per day and total mils per day. Being able to calculate these, you can more easily come up with a feeding schedule or be able to calculate a continuous pump rate if she were to be a patient fed through an NG. Now let's work through some practice questions together. So question 1, is Jamie receiving enough kcals per kilogram per day for her age? Her weight is 4.2 kilograms. Question 2, how much formula does Jamie need to be at goal for a 3-month-old? What if she was 6 months old? And we'll say if she's 6 months that her weight will be 6.5 kilograms. Question 3, how many mils per day does she receive if she was receiving her recommended kcals per kilogram per day? Question 4, just for practice, say she had an NG and we wanted to start continuous feeds at her goal kcal per kilogram per day. What would the continuous feed pump rate be? We're going to walk through these calculations together for the remainder of the video. Feel free to pause the video and do them on your own first before I go through the answers. Just keep in mind that Jamie will be 6.5 kilograms at 6 months. Okay, here we go. Question 1. Is Jamie receiving enough kcals per kilogram per day for her age? Remember, her weight is 4.2 kilograms. She's our 3-month-old patient. Mom reports that she receives 2 ounces of regular formula every 3 hours, and the goal for 3-month-olds that we said previously was 95 kcals per kilogram per day. Of note, her weight at 3 months puts her at the 5th percentile. Set up the calculation so that as you multiply, everything cancels. 2 ounces times 20 kcals per ounce times 8 feeds. Zooming out, recall that there are 24 hours in the day, with one feed every 3 hours means she gets 8 feeds every day. When you cancel everything, you calculate that she receives 320 kcals per day, then divide by her weight. We find that she's receiving 76.2 kcals per kilogram per day, so not at goal. Question 2. How much formula does Jamie need to be at goal for a 3-month-old? What if she's a 6-month-old? Let's just calculate ounces per feed, Q3, so 8 feeds per day, start with our goal of 95 kcals per kilogram per day, and set everything in the equation so that you can cancel. Multiply by her weight, divide by feeds, and divide by kcals. When you punch it in, you get that she needs 2.5 ounces of formula per feed. For the second part of this question, let's fast forward to 6 months. Jamie's now 6.5 kilograms, putting her in the 25th percentile, so good job, doctor. Her goal calories for this age are now 80 kcals per kilogram per day. Since her stomach is a little bigger and she can tolerate it, let's be nice to mom and space those feeds out to Q4 or 6 feeds per day. Now, how many ounces should she take per feed to be right at goal? Again, set everything up starting with our goal of 80 kcals per kilogram per day, then multiply by her new improved weight, multiply by 6 feeds, and then multiply by 1 ounce, because that's 20 kcals. And when you make everything cancel, you calculate that Jamie requires 4.3 ounces per feed. Okay, question 3. How many mils per day is she getting at her recommended kcal per kilogram per day? Okay, let's go back to when Jamie was 3 months old. We just calculated that she needs 2.5 ounces per feed every 3 hours. How many mils per day is that? Start with 2.5 ounces. There are 30 mils per ounce. We said that there's 8 feeds per day. And so when you calculate it, it's 600 mils of formula every day. And finally, question 4. This is just for practice. Say she had an NG and we wanted to start continuous feeds at her goal kcal per kilogram per day. What would the feed pump rate be? Start with the 600 mils we just calculated in the previous question and divide by 24 hours. You've made everything cancel, and now it tells you that the continuous pump rate would be 25 mils per hour. And that's it. You're like a pro now. So please practice on the wards, and hopefully this video helped demystify a few things for you. We hope you found this helpful. Good luck, and thank you.